1 week ago, the most powerful AI ever released to the public stopped working. No crash, no bug. Someone shut it off on purpose. The company that built it didn't want to. Their customers were in the middle of using it, and the order didn't come from a boardroom or some safety team buried in the building. It came from the United States government. The model is called Claude Fable 5. It had been public for exactly 3 days and it didn't get pulled down because it failed. It got pulled down because it worked. I am Dr. Shubhrajit Nag and this is Trend, where I take a real story you already half know and dig out the one idea about AI buried inside it. No jargon, nothing to study first. If you can follow a standoff between a company and a government, you'll follow every word of this. Most weeks, I do it the other way around. I pick a concept I want you to understand. Then I go find the story that sneaks it past you. This week's different. The story came first. It landed in the news. I couldn't look away, and the farther I got in, the more it turned into something I had to slow down and show you properly. So I'm breaking my own format, just this once. Some stories don't wait for the schedule. To get why a government would reach in and switch this thing off, you have to see what it actually could do. So that's where we start, with what exactly they pulled off the shelf.
Today we're launching Claude Fable 5. We believe powerful AI should be safe and accessible.
Every Claude model has safeguards to keep it from doing harm.
A company called Stripe handles payments for a huge slice of the internet. They handed this model 50 million lines of code, old, tangled stuff, the kind an engineering team has to pick apart by hand. Fable 5 did it in a single day. Stripe reckoned the same job would have taken a full team, more than 2 months. The next one sounds like a joke until you sit with it. Pokemon. Researchers used old video games to test something the usual benchmarks can't touch. Whether a system can hold one goal in its head for hours, find its way through a wall it has never seen, remember where it has already been, and claw out of a dead end instead of looping there forever. Older AI couldn't manage it without crutches. Extra tools feeding it the game's hidden data, maps, a human nudging it along. Fable 5 finished the whole game looking at nothing but the screen. Same pixels you would see, menus, map, next move, all of it worked out from sight alone. Then the part that stops being fun. This same model's been put to work inside real scientific research, floating genuinely new ideas, speeding up the early grind of designing new medicines. The people who built it say they are actually watching the start of something that could do real good in the world. And that's exactly where the trouble starts. Because it didn't ship alone, it came as a pair. One version went out to the public. They call it Fable. The other one, same brain, same training, same raw intelligence, went to a tiny circle of vetted organizations. They call it Mythos. The gap between them isn't power, it's restraint. Mythos can do things in cybersecurity nothing else on earth can do. Find holes in software so well that pointed the wrong way, it could break into the systems the world runs on. Fable is that same mind kept on leash. Ask the public version something dangerous, how to find those holes, how to build certain weapons, and it quietly hands you a question off to a weaker, safer model. You still get an answer. Just not that answer, all of which would just be a clever piece of engineering if it weren't for what the same company had said out loud 1 week before. They had spent months playing the careful one, warning that AI was moving too fast, asking the whole industry in public for something like a shared brake paddle, floating the idea that the systems are getting close to improving themselves on their own, with us out of the room. And then they shipped the most capable model they had ever handed to the public. Looks like a contradiction. It isn't. It's the entire problem folded into one move. The thing that makes the model worth releasing. Sharp at code, sharper at research, able to chew on one hard problem for hours without losing the thread, is the same thing that makes it dangerous. There's no prying them apart. The bug finder that guards your software is the bug finder that cracks everyone else's. So they didn't dump it down. They built a cage around it and shipped the cage. And they were careful about it. Before launch, they paid outside hackers to break the guardrails. 1,000 hours and more of people actively trying to jailbreak the thing. Nobody found a master key. It still wasn't enough. They had braced for the danger coming from inside the model. The blow landed from somewhere they couldn't catch at all. Friday evening, 5:21 p.m. An order comes in. It's from the US government, citing national security. And it says something close to unprecedented. Cut off all access to these models for any foreign national, anyone who isn't a US citizen, inside the country or outside it, right down to the company's own employees who aren't American. There was no neat way to do that. So the company did the only thing it could. It killed the models for everyone, mid-project, mid-sentence, gone. And as far as anyone can tell, that's never happened before. A leading AI company yanking a live public product. Because the federal government said so. They are not taking it quietly either. They read, roughly, this is an overreaction. One narrow theoretical way to misuse the model shouldn't be reason to claw back something millions of people depend on. And if that became the rule, you'd freeze the whole industry overnight. There's bad blood underneath it too. The Defense Department had already branded the company a national security risk, the kind of label usually saved for foreign adversaries. And the company is suing the government over it. That fight's still live. If all of this is starting to feel strangely familiar, it should. It has happened before, almost bit for bit. You just have to go back about 35 years. That man I promised you at the start, the one who nearly went to prison over a piece of code, his name was Phil Zimmerman. The year was 1991. He wrote a program called PGP, a way for ordinary people to scramble their messages so nobody, not a company, not a government, could read them. He gave it away free. Inside a few hours, it had spread clear across the world, and the United States called it a weapon. Strong encryption, in the eyes of the law, was a munition, same category as a gear in an arsenal. PGP had crossed borders, so Zimmerman spent 3 years under federal criminal investigation for exporting a weapon, for writing software that let people keep a secret. His side pulled a move that's almost funny. They printed the source code as a book. A book is a protected speech. You can't ban it the way you ban a weapon. People carried the book overseas and typed the code back in by hand. In 1996, the government had to drop the case. By 2000, the export controls on encryption had fallen apart completely. And the thing they fought so hard to lock down, it's wrapped around every message you send today. Same law, same reflex. A government stares at a piece of software so powerful, it decides the thing belongs in the same box as a weapon and tries to control who, anywhere on earth, is allowed to touch it. The only thing that has changed is what the software does. Last time, it kept secrets. This time, it thinks. So set Fable 5 down for a second. The lawsuit, the Friday night order, the whole circus. Underneath it, this story is pointing at something about where all of this is headed. And it's worth hearing without the noise. For years, AI ran on a simple loop. Build a smarter model, release it, do it again. That loop just broke. The question stopped being whether you can build it. It's whether everyone should be allowed to use all of it. And for the first time, the answer coming back is no. Not all of it, not for everyone. What you are watching is a single mind getting split into versions. A public one with limits, a private one without them, and a government drawing a border straight through the second. That's the shape of the next 10 years. The AI stories that matter won't only be about what gets built. They'll be about what gets let out, what gets held back, and who's standing at the door deciding. The model might be back online by the time this reaches you, but the fight behind it won't be over for years. But the line got drawn this week. You can see exactly where it sits now. And once you have seen it, you can't unsee it. Quick thing before you go, I said up top that this channel usually runs the other way around, teaching the idea underneath the story. So if this left you wanting the actual machine at the center of it, what people mean when they say a model can chase a goal on its own, and why that's a complete different animal from the AI that just answers your question, I built a whole episode on exactly that. It's wrapped around the biggest manhunt of our lifetime, the 10-year hunt for Osama bin Laden, generative AI, agentic AI, and the agents in between. All of it hiding inside that story. That's the one to watch next. It's right there. See you.